Okay. Pinamukuam, Hidinla, welcome everybody. My name is Kateri Zuni, and this is our Sembrando Salud 2021 live stream featuring Chef Patrick Correa from Isleta Pueblo. I am going to hand over the mic, if you will, in just a moment. But before I do that, and as we let Chef Patrick get prepared, I just want to welcome everybody for coming to this session. And also to thank you all who participated in Sembrando Salud this spring and summer. We got to meet and interact with so many amazing people throughout New Mexico who are growing, throughout Albuquerque, in Isleta, in Zuni, out in Chimayo, and so many other places. So it was really awesome to have everybody meet and come together to learn how to grow, learn how to cook together. And we just really appreciate everyone's participation, and we hope and expect to see everybody back for the next season in spring of 2022. It looks like Emma Dewey, our farming advisor, is also on here. So we've got some of our team here and ready to go. Before we hand it over to Chef Patrick, you might want to take a look at our Facebook, either in the Sembrando Salud Facebook group or on the Center of Southwest Culture's Facebook page to find a graphic with tonight's recipe in both English and Spanish. If you're joining this evening and prefer to follow along in Spanish, we'll make sure to have this session translated for you, just as we've done for all the other cooking videos and instructive videos, and also load that up onto our YouTube. So without further ado, Chef Patrick, please go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hello, good afternoon, good evening, everybody. I'm Chef Patrick Correa. Thanks for joining me today. Today we're gonna make an avocado salad with cucumber. So our basic ingredients, if you haven't got to the recipe yet on Facebook or the Southwest, it's pretty much grape tomatoes, 1 cup of these, 1 avocado. We're only gonna use half of a lemon for the lemon vinaigrette. I got some basil and some cilantro right here, some fresh, salt and pepper, and a little bit of extra virgin olive oil. All right, so as the recipe says, I went ahead and already mise en place all of the cucumbers, as you can see already. So I cut those ahead of time already. But what you do is you can just peel them normally, just peel off the skin on the cucumber. I like to keep mine on, the green part. The green part's the best part, so I like the green on the cucumber. You could peel it, you can leave the skin on, then you just pretty much just julienne it real nice, real fine, as you can see right there. See. All right, and then after that, I went ahead and did a little bit of tomatoes, but it's I hope you guys can see this. So you take the cucumber long ways like this, and then you just slice it right down the middle, so where you get 2 separate pieces, just like this, kind of like cutting a football in half. Okay. All right, so.
And Chef, I know that you kind of explained it in one of your videos, but why is it that you cut the tomato lengthwise like that?
To keep the seeds in, actually. If you cut it the other way, they tend to just bulge out. I don't know why they juice different when you cut them the long lengthwise. So just cut all of them like that. If you choose to use whole tomatoes, a whole tomato, you could just cut it right in half and then cut it right down the middle to where you get 4s. And then you can even cut it in half again. But if you cut it in half again, more than likely, all of the seeds are gonna fall out. So I would just cut it in quarters, just like that, right down the middle. If you're gonna use, like, say, Romas or, you know, a bigger variety of tomato than the cherry and grape tomatoes. Okay, so got all of the tomatoes done, as you can see right here. That's all right. Okay, So the mise en place is done for the tomatoes and the cucumbers. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm gonna take the avocado and I'm gonna cut it right here at the top, right where the seed is, right where the core is. Then I'm gonna run it down just like this, slowly moving my knife. And then I'm gonna turn it and it pops open to two sides. Take out the core. So I got a glass bowl so everybody can hopefully see how I do it. So I'm gonna, avocados like this. We're gonna want nice cubes. So I'm gonna cut it about 3 times down the middle so you can see the lines that are in there that I slit. And I'm gonna cut it 4 times going the other direction. So it's kind of like diced a little bit. And what I'm gonna do next is take a spoon and pretty much just core it out. Take the other
I
side and
know. Oh,
go
sorry,
ahead.
Chef. I know a lot of times it can be hard to pick an avocado at the right time. What are some of the tips that you use or tricks that you use to make sure your avocado is perfectly ripe?
Tricks that I use, if they look green, greener than as green as cilantro, green as the grass, do not buy them. And especially if they're hard. What I shoot for is like a darkish green. I don't know if you can see the darkish green, kind of almost black, but not completely black. That's what I like for. And I actually like to like feel the firmness of it. If it like when you squeeze on it and it kind of like pushes back a little bit, but doesn't like completely sink in, that's a perfect avocado. And then sometimes how we normally get them in the grocery stores is when they're super black and they're like almost about to be mush, you know? So that's it's pretty hard, but right now avocados are really in season, so it's which is a good thing. All right, so I did all of the avocado with the chunks in it, so break it up a little bit. So we got the avocado in the bowl, tossing in cucumbers, cherry tomatoes, all right, do a little bit of salt for seasoning, a little bit of pepper. Just give it a nice little swirl. Kind of like folding it in so you're not like damaging your avocado and turning it into guacamole. Just fold it up, just fold it in just nice and slow to where you get avocado in almost every bite. So it should almost look like this right here. I don't know if you could see that. Okay, and so since this is tossed now, I'm gonna set this to the side and we're gonna make the lemon vinaigrette.
Nice.
So it calls for half of a lemon. So just cut it down the middle. Okay. And then just squeeze all the juice out. And for this amount of lemon juice and for the recipe, it's half a lemon is just perfect. It's just enough to coat the entire salad. And if you want extra, there's always room for extra for that. So I'm gonna show you how to, just like how we picked the basil the last time, same with the cilantro. Some people like the little stem, like this stem right here, this much of the stem is okay. Some people like it, you know, it gives that bite to it. But if you really want to get really just cilantro, just pick it by the leaf right here.
Mm-hmm.
Just take it off by the leaf. And then it just leaves you the stem. I don't know if you can see it, just the stem. So then you just get all these nice little beautiful leaves right here. So
And for people who don't like cilantro, what is something that you recommend that might act as a good substitute?
thyme. On this recipe, it calls for basil too. The last few days, I don't know if my basil plants got too much water or what, but they just were all droopy leaves. So I only got a few leaves today, but I went ahead and already made the mise en place for that. As you can see, I have it right here. So I made the mise en place. So we're ready to roll right now. So we're gonna add the basil, a little bit of cilantro. You can add thyme. You can even use mint. Mint would probably be good also. Rosemary, but you can use that, but not too much. It's very strong. It's very, it's a very strong herb that rosemary is. You can actually even use lavender. You could use a lot of things that you get in your garden. All right, so added the salt, some pepper. Let me give that a whirl. So now I'm gonna add the extra virgin olive oil. I'm gonna go nice and slow so it can emulsify. So when I say emulsify, it's gonna bring the lemon juice and the oil into a nice little mix of a dressing, la vinaigrette. And I don't know if you guys can see that, but see how it's getting kind of thicker as I bring it all together with the oil.
So Chef, not everybody got to get to know you as well as CSC did throughout this program. Can you share with us a little bit more about what brought you to cooking and how you came to be a chef?
Yeah, me bringing to cooking was just my passion for it. It started out kind of funny. I was a busser and down in Los Lunas, and I was a busser. And one day the kitchen staff walked out on the owner. So the owner came to me and he was like, "Yeah, can you help me out dropping some things in the fryer?" I was in high school. I didn't know, what was what. So, anyways, I got on the fryer and he showed me how to drop frozen mushrooms and like mozzarella sticks and whatnot. So while I was doing that, I got really intrigued about it, and it was very fun. And like just like the energy of the kitchen, like moving around, making something that somebody's gonna enjoy. And as I learned that was my passion and what I wanted to do, I just ran with it, and it took me many places. It actually made me meet a lot of great chefs and a lot of people that I know across the United States that have restaurants of their own, and they're entrepreneurs, just like me, that help their local community and everything like that. So yeah, it was just it was a 1 in a million shot. And when I did apply for the schooling, I had applied probably about 4 o'clock in the morning, and 4 o'clock in the morning, and then like about 8 o'clock the same day, I got a call from the Cordon Bleu saying, "Yeah, we want to fly you out here to come check out our school, blah blah. We want to give you a tour." And then so we flew out there. I liked it so much, I ended up enrolling, and then 2 years later, I graduated. And then I was working on the strip and just, pretty much going where the wind blew with my culinary degree. So yeah, that's a little bit about myself. So that's my cooking side, and my passion right now is um, working for my. I hate to say this, but like getting my entrepreneurship going with my business for myself. So and giving back, and working with a lot of these people down here in Isleta with their farms and their agriculture. So it's really great.
Awesome. Thank you for sharing that with us.
So I got the vinaigrette all mixed up. As you can see, it kind of turned a little bit of like whitish due to the lemon juice, which is really good. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna drizzle this in. You don't have to use the whole thing. You just want to lightly coat it. All right. I'll give it a little taste. Use a little bit more salt. And you don't have to use oil either. You can just use lemon juice, lime juice. If you decided to use, instead of tomatoes, you could use strawberries. Strawberries and avocado go really good. Maybe you could use like orange juice for like the vinaigrette. So it doesn't always necessarily have to have oil. You could just squeeze any kind of liquid on the salad, and I'm probably pretty sure it'd be an eyebrow rouser. So what I'm gonna do now is I'm just gonna put it all in like a simple serving dish for the table.
you shared with us during our videos something that I thought was really cool. Um, the idea of presentation. So not
Yes,
only how to cook the food, but how to present it or how to lay it out on the plate or the table. Why is that important?
I believe it. An old chef told me that, no matter how good your food tastes, well, it's always going to taste good. It tastes better than it looks. But people eat with their eyes before they eat with their mouth. So if you're in a 5-star Michelin restaurant and you see this plate go by and you're waiting for your food and you just seeing that, you're like, holy smokes, what is that? Um, it's just appealing to the eye, I think, more than you actually enjoying it. Because some presentations nowadays they're so amazing. I was watching Top Chef the other day, of course, and they had this new banana split sundae coming out, and it was a ball that was chocolate, and then she poured this liquid on it. All of a sudden, this ball just like melted, and then inside was the dessert. So you actually ate the ball that melted, the sauce that melted the ball, and then you actually scooped what the filling was in the inside. So imagine that coming to your to your table, or you seeing that go across the restaurant. It's just amazing. So I think people eat with their eyes before they eat with their mouth, because if you look at it too, if you went to like a place and you saw like your potatoes were burnt or your eggs were broken or something, you would be like, that's not right. Can you please take that back? So yeah, that's what I think mainly.
Well, speaking of Top Chef, what are some of the show your favorite shows or resources that you go to learn, new techniques or more recipes?
Actually, the latest one that I got on that I've been binging on is the Chef Show. You know, the guy that made the movie Chef.
Oh yeah.
He, I think he's like one of the directors of Star Wars. I'm not too sure, but he's famous. So he started his own cooking show, and I've been watching that almost every day for when I get off of work, my soothing time. And I refer to back in the day it was Iron Chef, and then of course Top Chef is really good. They have this Cutthroat one that's on Bravo, I believe it is. That's really good too. So and then just watching any of these cooking shows just like kind of keeps you up with the trend. Like what's going on, what's new, what's in, what's out. So it's very keeps me on my toes. I can tell you that for sure.
Cool.
Okay, so yeah, I pretty much plated it right here, as you can see.
That looks really good. Is that something, I mean, I know it's a salad, but would you put this on like chicken or fish as
Yeah,
a,
actually, I think this would be great as like a cold appetizer, like maybe with a meat platter or like a cheese platter, like an antipasto type dish, which would be awesome. Actually, with the avocado, I think it would go great with like chicken and rice, like kind of like a Southwest season, half chicken or chicken breast, maybe even like you could even do it with some skewers. Um, I think the sky's the limit with this. This is mainly like a nice summer dish. So it even if you wasn't at summertime, I think this would still just be a great evening or like a picnic dish. You could just pack up, have it ready to go, and munch on it whenever you get hungry.
for sure. So speaking of skewers, the the caprese skewers were a great recipe. I think overall though, when we look at the viewership of the YouTube channel, I think your calabasitas recipe was for sure the winner. Most people watched that, or it was most viewed. Um, so yeah, that's definitely one I recommend anybody watching to check out. Um, what are some of the tools, I guess, that you would recommend for people to have handy in their kitchen, um, outside of just like the stuff that we normally have, just like knives and stuff? Like, what's something that is a go-to for you?
Let me see. I think I got one. I think these are really cool. these strainers, these tiny ones, because then you can strain like, say if you wanted to make a puree or like use beet juice, like say for instance you boiled beets and you had the beet water left over, you wanted to utilize that into say your rice and cook like your rice in the beet juice, you could use this little strainer. Or like if you wanted to clarify butter, or just strain like something small, like say, see like I have a little bit of this vinaigrette left over, but I didn't want to have the herbs in it, so I just take it like this, and then I'll just get just the plain vinaigrette. So these little nifty gadgets are, I like to call them my back pocket tool, because they come in hand all the time. Like even when you don't think you need it, or you're at the store and you're like, what am I going to use that for? It's best to have it. Also, what was I going to say? Like a little, they call them bench scrapers. There's those little dough things that have a handle and then they're square and they're sharp. I have one in my knife roll, but it's in my car. And that's good to like utilize to like scrape stuff off of the counter, or say if you have like one of those cast iron flat pans for camping and stuff. Those are really good. I think bread knives we all have. Serrated knife. This is a bread knife. Just a nice paring knife. Really nice paring knife is really good too. I know they have some nice ones at Target. I like those colorful ones. Also a microplaner, which is really good. It's a zester, like it's real fine. It's like a cheese grater, but it's really fine. And you can like zest your lemons. So like say if you wanted to use like zest in your chicken that you're marinating, instead of the whole lemon, you could just take the zest. Or if you're making a dessert, you could utilize that into your chocolate. A nice cutting board. Invest into a nice cutting board, because a nice cutting board really does pay off. It'll go a couple of years if you take care of it, if you polish it well. And just a nice technical, nice chef knife that you take care of, you utilize. Don't let the kids get it, or your nephew or anybody trying to go outside and chop some trees with it. But yeah, other than that, mixing bowls. I've been a nerd for mixing bowls lately. I have no idea why. But mixing bowls, glass, stainless steel is really good. I actually get my stainless steel from the dollar store, Dollar Tree.
Mm.
They have nice ones, and they have the tiny ones all the way to the big ones for $1. So you can't go back wrong with that. So
Cool. That's a good tip. I think a lot of us tend to think that we need to buy the most expensive or the fanciest tools um, to be to have the best outcome for our food. So it's good to know that we can do those alternatives and still come out with a good meal.
that is correct.
I think we're about to wrap up here, but before we close out this live stream, I wanted to know, Chef Patrick, if you could cook for anybody in the world, past or present or future, famous or not famous, who would you cook for and what would you cook for them?
I'd probably cook for Chris Cornell. That'd be a good one, Chris Cornell, and I'd probably make him a lobster risotto. That's probably what I would do. Yeah.
Awesome, thank you. Well, Chef Patrick, thank you so much for all of the recipes that you've given us, all of the guidance that you've given us throughout this season to prepare these meals in a healthy way with our families. We really appreciate that. Is there any last thing you want to add or tip that you want to give to our Sembrando Salud growers and chefs?
No, for you chefs out there, young chefs, just keep your mind open. Like honestly, in this field of culinary arts, it's the sky's the limit. You can put something that you wouldn't think go good with something else and make it taste totally awesome. That's what I'm saying. Every day is a new day, and someone's always constantly coming out with something new. So don't get discouraged, and just keep an open mind and be creative. Use anything you've never used before, and use the same thing you love to use. And for everybody else out there, thank you for letting me be a part of the program this year. It was really fun. My recipes are on website. So if you guys have any questions, just shoot them to the Q&A on Facebook or YouTube, and I'll check them and I'll get back to you guys as soon as I can. And once again, thanks for letting me be the program, and hopefully I'll get to see you guys next year. So thank you very much. You guys have a good one.
Thank you, Chef Patrick. Again, thank you everybody for joining us tonight and throughout the season. You can always contact myself, Emma or Jose, any of the staff at the Center of Southwest Culture if you have questions about any of the cooking videos, any of the Sembrando Salud instructional videos or gardening workshops. We are an open book, and we really, really encourage you to join the Sembrando Salud 2021 Facebook group, where people are constantly sharing pictures and questions and just their experiences of being out in the garden, which is exactly what we want to do, is build our community of gardeners throughout the year. So thank you all again, and have a good night.